What's up everybody, this is Ven bringing you another MOC Spotlight where we take apart what you build. For today's episode we'll be going over Makuta, the Mask Breaker, created and posted to our message boards by Djokson, or simply just Djokson, and as some of you may know him as D George, or simply just George. Now before we get started, let me quickly go over my method of reviewing, which involves a point system that is based on three fundamental attributes: the overall appearance of the MOC, the build of the MOC itself, and the concept and ideas behind the MOC's creation. Each quality amounts up to 5 points, leading up to a final score that will be determined at the end of the episode, and please remember that this is all based on my opinion. So let's get this started. Alright, so what we have here is some big brawler looking humanoid figure. Like, he seriously looks ready to pummel some peeps, you know? 'Cause the first thing that comes to mind once I looked at this thing was, wow, this thing's intimidating. Like, I wouldn't want to get caught in a wrestling match with this guy. He'd pin me down just by staring at me with this menacing grin. Another big plus I gotta give goes to the color scheme, which is primarily gold and black, which are both applied pretty well. There's a little itty bit of transparent purple, which breaks up the monotony of the otherwise all-black torso, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like there's much more anywhere else. It's a bit of a shame because it does look good, it works really well with the color scheme, but oh well. I really do like the whole aesthetic of this MOC, how everything looks so clean and well put together. But anywho, I really like this whole aesthetic of the MOC. Oh, there's a lot of detail, but nothing looks messy or nothing looks like it has too much greeble. Like, there's a lot going on, but it still comes off looking really clean, with nothing awkwardly sticking out, and it's got a great silhouette. I mean, everything looks proportionally sound. So all in all, I'm really digging the design. Now let's take a look at some of the big highlights of the MOC, like this face. This face is so good. Like, the design itself is so unique. And the amount of detail put into it is incredible. Like, what kind of dark magic did you use to get this done? Like, this is crazy. Like, seriously, man, what the hammer looks pretty solid. Nice to see a custom design for a weapon coming out looking so good and appropriately sized. And the red spikes on the back look neat. Kind of adds to the whole evil, dark, shadowy theme that we're going for here. Though I kind of wish there was like a little more of it. Like, I wish there were 2 more spikes. I feel like just 2 more spikes would be enough. Then I'm pretty much sold on the spikes, but as of right now, it's okay. It still looks cool. Now the actual structure of the figure looks pretty dang solid. And you gotta appreciate just how streamlined it looks too. Cause I mean, look at it, this is crazy. It looks almost like it's its own figure, like it's not even made out of Lego. I mean, dang, the dude clearly knew what he was doing with his parts. Especially when you look closer at the head. I mean, what the heck happened? Like, again, what did you do? What type of sorcery is this that you manipulated these parts into this shape of a head and all these, what happened? How did you make it look so good? Now, aside from the face, the big bulky torso construction is also pretty intriguing to me. Like, it's so big and bulky, and yet it carries this streamlined, solidified look to it, where nothing's really sticking out, and there's practically no gaps that I can see. I mean, look, there's hoses here, there's all these little parts, just kind of making up the detail, and yet also adding structure to the torso, and that's admirable. And it's admirable that he managed to achieve this and at the same time maintain a whole lot of articulation in the MOC too, because this thing has quite the range of posability. And just taking all of these qualities into consideration, I'd say we have a pretty solid figure here. And really by this point, my only criticism in this regard would be the lack of a function or play feature. Not that I really feel that it's necessary, considering that this is a good figure on its own, even without that. And like, you can pose it, and you got this weapon that you can take on and off. I mean, it's cool. Now, to go ahead and move on and start talking about the concept, supposedly what we have here is Makuta's final form, or at least George's interpretation of Makuta's final form, as per the criteria of LEGO's Rebrick Makuta Challenge, in which Bionicle fans all over the world are challenged to create their own interpretation of Makuta's final form after taking on the Mask of Ultimate Power, which changes him from a cute little guy like this into whatever you could possibly imagine would be quite fitting for this character. Something bigger, badder, something that looks like the embodiment of corruption and pure evil. Now keep that in mind and let's take a look at George's MOC again. Now shall we? It is big, it looks intimidating, he looks straight up mean, dude. And I don't know, to me he kind of looks like Makuta's Mask Maker form if it got exposed to gamma radiation and mutated into a large, angry, hulking creature. Because it looks like he has some of the same characteristics, like he's got the hammer, which I guess would be like his signature weapon or tool or something, you know, to make more evil masks with. He's essentially got the same color scheme with the gold and black and purple, though I guess you could say he could use a bit more purple, and I would kind of agree with you. But I mean, I guess you could look at it this way, right? It's kind of like the evil has absorbed so much of Makuta's former self that to a point where even his old color scheme is gone. Like the black has just engulfed all of the purple and half the gold that he used to wear. Because the only purple left in the MOC is smack down in the center, surrounded by nothing but black and little bits of gold. So hey. And in regards to looking like a bigger, meaner, more evil version of Makuta, I'd say that you pretty much got me sold here. I mean, this is a great look for Makuta, combining aspects of his Mask Maker design with this bigger, darker behemoth look. Like, I can see that likeness is still there. I can see the transformation happening. So yeah, I feel that this design is pretty dang effective. And so that's basically all I got for you today. So moving on to the final scores. In terms of appearance, this MOC receives a 5 out of 5. This MOC looks great. Like, it looks like a legit character design, dude. It's got a lot of character, it's really clean and heavily detailed to the bone. Like, it is really good looking. If I were to make any sort of changes to the MOC, it'd probably be just out of personal preference or nitpicking more than anything. But in terms of the build, this MOC receives a 5 out of 5. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is one solid construction that I feel demonstrates just such a great length of creativity that you can go through with these kinds of parts, while still managing to make the whole MOC structurally stable and overall a solid action figure. And finally, in terms of the concept, this MOC receives a 5 out of 5, because I feel that this is a great design that I would say pretty much matches up with my expectations for this contest. I feel like it fits the theme like a snug glove, because it looks like a natural transformation for the Makuta, and it looks like one heck of a threat for the Toa. Like, I could easily see this in Bionicle's story. So, with all that said, we are left with our final score, which if you add it up, will be yep, that's right folks, a 15 out of 15. It's a cool MOC, it's creative, it's all around pretty dang solid, and it doesn't even need a function either. Utilizing elements from basically all across the board. You got Bionicle, Technic, CCBS, little bits of system. I'd say this is easily a very great demonstration of just what kind of stuff you could potentially do with these parts. So great job, George, you're an inspiration to us all. Good luck in the contest, and congrats for making it onto the MOC Spotlight. I do hope to see more out of you, and I do hope to see something out of you viewers. Please take everything that you saw here into account, or you see in like any other MOC Spotlight. Let everything you see be an inspiration for what you could possibly do with whatever is in the palm of your hands, with your own hands. Just freaking do something, make something cool, post it to our message board so that I can see it. And you'll earn yourself a very high possibility of being featured on a future MOC Spotlight. Just post again to our message boards at board.ttvchannel.com under the LEGO Creations category, and I promise you that chance could be yours. So until then, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.